Jax.
All right, folks. My name's Terence Love. Welcome to Steamers Jazz at Campus JAX. You guys ready for some great jazz tonight? What an exciting group here, Tony. You got, oh, whoa, that was exciting, Matt. Welcome. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with me, I founded and built and ran Steamers Jazz Club for 22 years in Fullerton. Right into the ground, right? Yes. Anyway, and these folks have been a part of my life for a very long time.
That ends tonight.
And that ends tonight. And so anyway, about 6 years ago, Jack Jasper and Tim Ellis approached me and said, will you bring Steamers over here? Because I had closed it in 2015. And well, it actually turned out to be pretty good. It's been 6 years we've been doing it, thanks to you supporting live jazz. Let's hear it for yourself. And of course, we have wonderful jazz going on here all the time. If you want to go see some of the acts, just go to campusjax.com. And speaking of that, coming up next Thursday night, Maria Schaefer, wonderful jazz vocalist, will be here with her group. And then Sunday, the great Leah Booth will be here with the Barclay Jazz Band. Yeah, Leah Booth. No, okay. That was Matt Johnson on drums. Let's hear from Matt Johnson. On the bass, David Miller. On the horns and flute, Mark Vishiswa-Vischer. On the Hammond organ and piano, Dave Siebels. My good buddy and cohort, Mr. Tony Guerrero. Let's hear it for him.
All the way from Irvine, California, David Miller.
Thank you very much. Before we go any further, Mike, if you don't mind giving Mark and myself a little bit more of ourselves up in front. Thank you. The rest of the band tricked us during the sound check. Hey, thank you for being with us tonight at Campus JAX, right here in Newport Beach, California, the birthplace of jazz music. We're so glad you're here tonight. I want to take a moment and introduce everybody on stage, if you don't mind. Back there on the bass, please say hello to Mr. David Miller. On the drums, that is Mr. Matt Johnson. On saxophone over there, that is Mr. Mark Vischer. And on the organ and the piano tonight, a gentleman who just celebrated his birthday. I know looking at him, you couldn't imagine him getting any older, but it happened just this week. This is Mr. Dave Siebels right there. His birthday was Saturday night, and we had a gig together and played together then, and there's no point to that addition to the story, really. Yeah. Speaking of Saturday night goes right into Sunday morning, and that's the name of our next tune. This is an original tune of ours called Sunday Morning, and this is for those of you who forgot to go to church last Sunday. And to make you feel even more at home, we're going to pass around a collection basket. So. Thank you very much. Hey, I'm sorry, Mike, to bother you again, but I do need more of this still up front. I'm going to miss you, Mark. We'd like to do a song now that I spent part of the afternoon watching an old 1958 concert of Louis Armstrong, and it reminded me of this great tune we're going to do. This is a song that was usually his opener in his concerts in his later years, and this is called When It's Sleepy Time Down South.
Tony Guerrero. Mark Vischer on the tenor. David Miller on the bass, everybody.
Oh, now you're going to tune 3 songs in. Hey, when I opened to that page in the book, the song right before that reminded me that we haven't played that one in a while either. And it's a good song. We're going to do a song from 1962 called What Now, My Love? I don't know why that's funny. Here we go. You can't hear him, right? We're going to do a song now from an old Broadway show. You guys like Broadway tunes? I love it. All right, 7 of you. Got them right where we want them. This is a song from a show called Oklahoma, and it's called Poor Judd is Dead. No, I'm not going to do that one. It's a sing-along. We're going to need a lot of audience participation for that one. We like to do a little bossa nova version of this song called People Will Say We're in Love. Aw.
Do you think people say that about us?
I know they say that about you. Here we go. Ah, that was pretty. Thought it would never end. Hey, we're going to do a song that if you are Facebook friends with me, you will see that I alluded to this song online today, which means we have to do it in case any of you showed up just for this song.
Probably not.
I doubt it. And by way of introduction, because I don't know how many of you have seen us perform this song before, I want you to know that we are the only band in the world, I can guarantee you, we're the only band in the world performing this song tonight. Most likely the only band in the world that performs it any night. We are the only ones. And it's not one we wrote. It's a song that's out there in the world. Anybody could play it. They choose not to. I don't know why.
That's on them.
That's on them.
Yeah.
You keep that in mind next time you pay good money to see somebody in concert, that they are not doing this song. This is a song that goes all the way back to roughly 1969. And I like to collect vintage records. Oh, I should mention this too. I also collect vintage ties. I have almost 200 vintage ties. I have a couple that are really special. One of them used to belong to Artie Shaw, the great band leader. And a couple other that have some little provenance like that. This one, it's the first time I'm wearing it. This actually belonged to a former, shall we say, connected man who was part of the big Lufthansa heist in 1978 at LaGuardia Airport. That's right. That's what I was told, yeah. That was what I was told when I shelled out $200 for it.
Well worth it. Smart.
It's okay, it was stolen money, so. No, but that's the story behind this tie, so I'm feeling a little empowered tonight. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. Collecting vintage things. I can't remember what I was about to say about collecting vintage things. The records, that's right. I do collect vintage things, which just looking up at the bandstand would tell you that's true. I found a record. I found a record one day that I just had to buy because this instrument is called the flugelhorn, and it was an album from the late 60s by a group called Sir Richard and His Flugel Knights, which was an odd band that featured two flugelhorns, and so of course I bought it and then went home and listened, and I heard this song on it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I like to set it up this way. Imagine it's 1970, and you are coming home from work in your wood-paneled Country Squire station wagon. Mint green, of course. Forest green. And what's that? Avocado green. You pull up in the driveway, enter your house, and kick off your shoes while your wife brings you your slippers. I can't believe I said that out loud. And you sit down on your plastic-covered couch, reach for the remote with two buttons that is connected to the TV with a cable, and you flip through all three channels to find this particular show. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you the theme song to ABC's Celebrity Bowling.
Celebrity Bowling.
Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you may notice a singer friend of ours in the audience, and by that I'm referring, first of all, to Crystal Lewis, who very often gets up to sing with us, but when I texted her and said, hey, are you coming tonight? Would you like to sing a tune? This is what she wrote. How dare you presume that, yeah, no, it was pretty bad, that I would get up there with your awful band in front of people, and it's just full of expletives. It goes on and on, it's long, and so she's not gonna be singing tonight. But we have another friend with us that likes us. And as it turns out, she knows the lyrics to Celebrity Bowling. Please welcome our friend from The Office, Kate Flannery.
What's up, Celebrity Bowling fans? Woo! All right.
Do we know the word? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
it doesn't have to go on and on, but
Just,
you know, we'll
just
do a
set it
little,
up. Let's
right?
just,
Can we
here
just?
we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. I've never heard the lyrics before.
If you're famous and you like knocking down pins, everybody wins. Watch the stars putting on wrist guards and weird shoes, and you can't lose.
Those aren't really. Those are. Oh, there's more. There's more. Okay.
Wait for it. Celebrity bowling! Celebrity bowling! That's it. I don't think I knocked down all those pins, but that's okay.
Well, the good news is we're going to ask her to sing another song, and since I didn't bring my chart with me, I'm going to have to read it really small on my phone.
Okay, what could possibly go wrong? How's everybody doing tonight? Great. I'm happy. I was actually listening. I'm happy to hear that, you guys. The more you drink, the better I sound. Give it up for these guys, please. The Tony Guerrero Quintet. These guys are the greatest.
I thought you don't drink anymore, Kate.
Oh, you know what? Since The Office ended, I don't drink anymore. I don't drink any less. I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy. Thank you so much. I think I just pulled a muscle in my hip. Are you ready? I'm ready when you are. Someone's being bashful. That's no way to be. Not with me. Can't you see that I am just as embarrassed as you, and I can understand your point of view? Matt Johnson. I've always been shy. I confess that I'm shy. Can't you guess that this confident air is a mask that I wear? 'Cause I'm shy, and you may be sure, way down deep I'm demure. Though some people I know might deny it, at bottom I'm quiet and pure. I'm aware that it's wrong to be meek as I am. My chances may pass me by. I pretend to be strong, but as weak as I am, all I can do is try. God knows I try. Though I'm frightened chances may pass me by. I pretend to be strong, but as weak as I am, all I can do is try. God knows I try, though I'm frightened and shy. And despite the impression I give, I confess that I'm living a lie. Because I'm actually terribly timid, sorry, and horribly shy. I'm shy. Thanks, guys.
Kate Flannery. Let's just see how
Kate
much that
Flannery.
performance cost me.
One more round of applause for Kate Flannery.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, is it too early for a big drum solo? Yes.
Somebody said yes. Somebody paid to get in and said yes. Is this that new one? Yep. Oh man, shit.
Is that all right?
I guess.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to feature our drummer, Matt Johnson, because unfortunately that's the only drummer we got. 153. This is an old song from, I think it was written in the teens of the last century.
Tony,
Yes.
they're all old.
Yeah, that's true. Especially when we play them. Here's a song called T for Two featuring Matt Johnson on the drums. You ready? Let's just see if my trumpet still works. Nope. Perfect. Just like before. Matt Johnson. Matt Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Mr. Matt Johnson. At this time, we would like to feature our birthday boy on the almost a Hammond B3 organ. This is the small version of it, but he did bring a Leslie speaker back there. That's that cool thing over there. And we're going to feature him on this, this tune called The Serpent. The Sermon. The Serpent, the Sermon. Two very different things. This is called The Sermon. Ladies and gentlemen, this is by Jimmy Smith. Mr. Dave Siebel's on the organ. Dave Siebels. On the serpent. No, it's not. It's the sermon by Jimmy Smith. It is? It's Jimmy Smith's biggest hit. Doesn't serve us any better. Yeah. Oh, I had a great idea of which song to do next, and I don't remember what it was.
I know what it was.
What was it? Oh, okay, we can do that one. We're going to do this beautiful ballad by Chuck Mangione, and we hope you like it. It's a song, it's kind of an obscure one of his. It's number 67 in your hymnals. And it's kind of an obscure song, and it's a beautiful song called She's Gone, which we always assumed was a sad song. And then we realized it just kind of matters who she is. So here we go.
So much to say.
Tony Guerrero
Thank you very much.
on the flugelhorn. The instrument of choice of every fourth trumpet player, the flugelhorn.
I didn't notice any damage from the Kate Flannery tumble, so I think my horn's okay.
No, but the laugh was worth it.
Which means I can still sell it for the same price, especially because the upper register's never been used, so...
That and a professional actually handled it there for just a couple of moments. Someone who's actually in show business handled that horn.
I'll get her to sign it before the night's over. Here's a song that we're going to dedicate this to Terence Love, who probably has left already. Are you still here? What, you're still here past 8 o'clock? It's 8:01.
You must be
Aren't
hammered.
you supposed to be in bed? Oh. Terence Love, as he mentioned, was the owner of Steamers. By the way, if you look back there on that wall, we have the original Steamers sign that I think it's so cool that Campus JAX hangs that in here and celebrates 20 years of that great jazz club. And
After you stole that sign when no one was looking on the last night the club was open.
I did. Well, I had to try to figure out something to get my money out of those gigs. I wrote a tune when we were back playing at Steamers all the time. Now, some of you may have seen that video that we opened the show with, and that was something I did during the quarantine when I had a bunch of musicians from their home recording their parts at home and filming it. And I wrote a tune called Jumpin' at Jax. And hold for applause.
You heard the applaud.
And we're going to do a song now that I wrote back in the Steamers days, and this is called Steamin' at Steamers. That's some creative titles right there. We occasionally play the Muckenthaler Theater, but I haven't thought of a good title for a song for that.
I have.
And that whole series is called Jazz at the Muck, so I'm going to probably avoid writing
Half
it.
the audience just thought of a title.
Here's a song we rarely do anymore because we try to forget those Steamers days. This is called Steamin' at Steamers, Terence Love. Steaming it, steamers. Did you stay awake for that, Terence? You don't have a speaking part. Hey, I want to mention a few other notables in our crowd tonight. Let me start over on my left and just say hello to Mr. Jack Wood, fabulous singer in town. Going around this way, my daughter is sitting back there. She loves it when I draw attention to her. Ella, you want to come up and speak? She loves it. Say hello to Susan Davis, who Susan was the one who booked the Festival of Arts concert series for many, many years. She has just stepped into her well-earned retirement, but she's here with us tonight, and we love Susan. She's brought so much good music into South Orange County. And us. A lot of good music and us. Who else? Oh, please say hello to my friend Janet Ahrens, who was married to the late Al Ahrens, who was a great trumpet player who played with the Count Basie Orchestra for many, many years. He's on all those classic records from the 60s. Frank Sinatra, Live at the Sands, Fly Me to the Moon. He's on all those records. And I got to know Al before his passing and have been able to keep a really close relationship with Janet and occasionally get to play on Al's trumpet. So that's always cool. Yeah.
Is your Porsche still for sale? Got it. Okay, good for you.
No, but her Rolls Royce is.
I know that Rolls is going to stay for sale for a while, I think. But anyways, lovely car. Lovely car.
Got to get some of that jazz trumpet money you keep
Yeah.
hearing about.
Yeah. We're waiting. We're waiting, Tony.
Believe me. Don't worry, I know it's not from that. All this time, I would have thought I had figured out a song to play. Ben, what would you like to do?
Oh, I'd like to be hearing our theme song right about now.
Well, all right. We had a request for it. I was going to avoid doing songs we do all the time tonight. But I guess we're going to do it.
Well, you've done a good job so far, Tony.
All right. All right. She's happy about that. All right, we're going to go ahead and do it. This is for you again, Terence. It's number 80, in case you care. This is a song that is, well, it's not a song. It's a few songs. Anybody familiar with a show, little show called West Side Story? Not a lot of you. Yeah, it was originally a Steven Spielberg movie from about 3 years ago. And no, this is a beautiful musical from the 1950s that was based originally on the story from Romeo and Juliet. And we are going to do a song, a collection of songs. Here's the thing about that show. I think it's the greatest musical ever written, right? I can name my favorites easily. So West Side Story is at the top. I love Fiddler. I love the music of Les Mis. I love Guys and Dolls. Those are, no, I mean, they're all good, but those are my favorite. Those are my favorites. I haven't even seen that. But none of them hold a candle to West Side Story for me. The music is just the greatest, and Leonard Bernstein, and anyways. We're gonna do songs from that show because I think that show has some of the most beautiful and meaningful songs ever written for the Broadway stage. And so we cram them all into this medley that sucks all the beauty and meaning right out of them. And so we hope you enjoy this. This is our little thing we decided to call, we labored over this title, but it's called West Side Story Medley. Please, please, no gang fighting.
Side Story. West Side Story.
107.
Oh,
We're going to do a song that ends on the exact same note as that last one. And this is a song that we've been doing for a lot of years. I had an opportunity to record this for an animated show, and they wanted it to be as close to Louis Armstrong's version as possible. And I know, that's what I told them. I laughed so hard, because nobody can sound like him, but we do love his version of it. This is a great song from around 1950 called La Vie en Rose.
Remember, yeah, no key change. Yeah. One.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the conclusion of our evening, which means we just have time for this last song. The good news is it usually goes on about 25 minutes. No, it's just gonna seem that way during the drum solo. How about it one more time for Mr. Dave Siebels on the keyboard. David Miller on the, what in the world? Where the crap did that come from?
Fritz Goldman on the drums.
I forgot what I look like with brown hair. Mark Vischer on the second. I like it. Now, to be fair, you've got more hair on top than that guy.
Well, and also I'm way taller than you.
Yeah,
So.
that's true. Mr. Matt Johnson on the drums. Oh my gosh, if I were ready, I would have come in right there. I'm not ready at all. Keep going. And just get everything situated here. It's the first time I decided not to miss a gig because of COVID, but
smiling, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. Oh, when you're crying, yes, it brings on the rain. Stop your crying, be happy again. Oh, when you're smiling, yes, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you.
Tony Guerrero, report to the principal's office.
Keep going, keep going.
Smiling, oh, when you stop.
Some of the room got it. The rest of you, I'm pretty disappointed. It should have been pretty obvious right there. You're supposed to be singing along. Are you ready?
Oh, when you're smiling, oh, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. Oh, when you're laughing, yes, when you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. Oh, when you're crying, yes, it brings on the rain. Stop your crying, be happy again. Oh, when you're smiling, oh, keep on smiling, and the whole world smiles. The whole world smiles, the whole world smiles with you.
One more time, Mr. Matt Johnson on the drums, Mark Vischer on the saxophone, David Miller on the bass, Dave Siebels on the keyboards, Kate Flannery sitting in, Krista Lewis not sitting in. My name is Tony Guerrero. We hope to see you back here real soon. Keep supporting live jazz here at Campus JAX.
Let's hear it for the Tony Guerrero Quintet. Tony Guerrero, Mark Vischer, Matt Johnson, David Miller on bass, Dave Siebels on the keyboard. Those guys up there on the screen, who are they? One more time for the Tony Guerrero Quintet. Want to remind you, upcoming next Thursday.